very weird. I used to have a neighbour who was an acupuncturist. And I said to her once, I cannot believe that this doesn't hurt, sticking needles in. She said, well, let me go and get a needle. So she went back to her house. She came round with a needle and she stuck it in my arm. And true enough, it didn't hurt at all. But how can it do any good?
Well, actually, sometimes it can hurt. I think it depends where you put the needle. How can it encourages the body's own immune system to actually fight the cause of the condition. For example, in back pain, if you have inflammation, when you put the needles into the localized area, your immune system comes up to try and attack the needles. And in the process, red blood cells, white blood cells accumulate around the area, and they devour the inflammation, and then that relieves the pain. There's also something else going on, where the endorphins react to the needle puncture and produce a numbing or pain-relieving temporary effect. So there's two effects. There's a temporary effect and there's a curative effect. And that would depend on how the acupuncture is applied.
So in effect, the body senses that there is suddenly a needle or a set of needles somewhere in the human body that it shouldn't be. The immune system naturally kicks in and tries to fight it off, and in the process helps whatever ailment the person is suffering.
Yeah, it encourages a healing response.
But how can that work? I mean, back pain very often is kind of down to, your spine and things like that. How can sticking a needle in someone's back, presumably into the muscle, how can that have any beneficial effect to the bone?
Well, actually, back pain is quite complicated. There's a number of different causes. I mean, for example, if you had diarrhea, the same nerves that affect the intestines will reflect back to the spine, like acute back pain. Or you could have back pain if there was a lack of fluid within the joints, or you could have back pain if there was inflammation around the ligaments. So, fortunately, acupuncture, I do a special kind of acupuncture, spinal acupuncture, and I actually work directly on the spine and the spinal nerves, and I put needles in around that area and into the ligaments, and so it can heal a number of conditions depending on how I apply it.
Well, that does sound painful.
It is slightly painful. I wouldn't say it's totally painless, but the effects are fantastic after a treatment. A couple of treatments, you feel like 60%, 70% better sometimes.
Does it have any side effects apart from the obvious pain if the needle is stuck into a sensitive part of the body?
Well, you can feel aching for a couple of days while the actual anti-inflammatory process is actually taking place. And then usually on the third day, the pain completely eases back to significantly less than what it was in the first place, and it stays significantly less. I mean, I've been treating lower back pain for 20 years, and I've had fantastic results. The majority of my patients are for lower back pain.
Does it work for everyone, or are there some people that just has no effect on?
I think some people, if it's very complicated, perhaps if they had bone cancer or something like that, or some people can't handle needles. But there is, I think, there is some kind of improvement that you can get providing the treatment administered properly.
Is it available on the NHS?
There's limited acupuncture on the NHS. And it's not always done by people that are totally acupuncturists. They're not dedicated acupuncturists. But people use it as an extra thing.
Because forgive me, this is why some sceptical people might say, well, if acupuncture really was as good as taking a couple of ibuprofen for a bad back, then why is it not available on the NHS? Why are doctors not prescribing it here, there and everywhere?
It's slow. I mean, 20 years ago they called it quackery. And now you have eminent doctors researching it and find out it's excellent for lower back pain. We've been saying that for a long time. Nobody's believed us. So the orthodox system is slow, and it takes time to take on board new ideas. And gradually nowadays, they're beginning to take it on board. There's a fresh look at these things.
It's interesting though, because in this survey, or in this study rather, fake acupuncture has been found to work as well as the real thing.
I believe that's because of the endorphin theory. Because if you actually just prick yourself, or if you have a long, hard run, your endorphins are secreted, and then you get a numbing effect. So the people that had their skin punctured, they would have some kind of pain-relieving effect, but the condition may not be totally being treated exactly as it would be if it was specifically treated by the proper acupuncture.
So you don't think it's just down to a placebo effect?
No, not totally. No, not totally. I think there's a sort of subtle improvement, but the improvements would be better if the acupuncture is properly applied. And then they refer to stagnation of qi. But stagnation of qi just refers to pain itself. It doesn't really refer to conditions. And these conditions are either aggravated by heat, or aggravated by dampness, or cold, or wind. And then we would apply normal acupuncturists would apply other theories to deal with these other factors in order to help the condition to improve.
Paul, good to talk to you. Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Paul Robin there, who's an acupuncturist. He's also the chair of the Acupuncture Society. 01604 234455 is the telephone number if you've ever had acupuncture. Does it work? I'll be interested to hear from you. If it does or if it doesn't, 01604 234455. Now to Elaine. Hello, Elaine. Elaine.